I do have a statement I'd like to read, if that's okay, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
Do I stand?
Whatever you're more comfortable doing.
I'll stand for you, Your Honor. I apologize, I haven't read this with handcuffs on, so it might take me just a couple seconds. So I do apologize, I am going to have to sit down, sir.
Okay.
Because I have to put it flat. Dear Honorable Judge Sprinstead, thank you for allowing me to address this court today, and thank you for presiding over this case, which I know must be stressful and unpleasant. My sincerest wish is that no one should ever endure any trauma or unpleasantness due to the nature of these charges against me. Your Honor, before you issue your sentence, I would like to officially go on record as saying that I feel like I have been left without guiding light in this incredibly stressful and disastrous life-altering situation. I feel like I've been stumbling around in the dark, figuring out stuff on my own or from other inmates more than anyone else. I don't believe that is fair to me, my family, or this court. During this time, when hearings have been scheduled, I've had no idea why I was going to court or what to expect. Sometimes I didn't know what a court date was for, if I even knew about it beforehand. My ex-wife got more information from the prosecuting attorney than I got from my own. She knew about my court dates changed in late December. That's how I found out. While people around me were getting character reference letters and writing letters to the judges, I had no input on any strategy for my situation whatsoever. I attempted to contact Mr. Greer at least 8 times after our first meeting and didn't hear from him for a month and a half. I was left completely in the dark. My sister was finally able to speak to him, calling from California, and explained to him how badly I needed help. He expressed that he needed to, quote, tighten his belt and start working on my case. This was 2 months after my arraignment. I finally got to meet with him a week later, and during this meeting, he was clipping his nails. He has told me several times in court that he would meet with me after a hearing and has not once visited me afterwards. I had to encourage him to watch the video where I supposedly confess, explaining to him my history of mental breakdowns, anxiety, and PTSD, and the breakdown I had during the interrogation where my own childhood sexual abuse memories resurfaced. And he said, I'm sure you were stressed. Stress doesn't do my emotional state at that interrogation justice, Your Honor. The abuse I endured as a 6-year-old child resulted in several suicide attempts. The first when I was 9 years old and tried to hang myself with an extension cord in my backyard, as well as several attempts to run away from home. I finally convinced Mr. Greer to watch the video, and he completely dismissed my concerns and trauma, downplaying my situation, saying that there was no coercion, then asking me if I was taken to the mental health hospital after the interrogation, which I wasn't. However, I was put on a concrete holding tank for 7 days, told in nothing but a smock with no blanket, no pillow, and no mental health treatment to speak of. I have had through this whole process no advocate for my well-being, rights, or best interests. During our first meeting, he said that he needed to drop some charges and reduce some. Then later he told me it was getting reduced to 1 charge, but when I got to court, it was 2 counts concurrent. He asked me unnecessary questions in a later meeting like, is your daughter your biological daughter? And others that demonstrated a lack of adequate knowledge of my case. I told him I wanted to fight my case so the facts could be heard, and he told me, quote, you're not the kind of father who would put your daughter through that. I asked him for a change of venue due to social media contamination of potential jury pool, and he flat out told me no, that fewer and fewer people are on social media these days. He assured me if I would just plead no contest, I would only get 25 years in prison, and I'm not confident that he can promise that. Again, I reached out to Mr. Gill several times before today's hearing, and no answer for over a week. Then with less than a week to go, 6 days in fact, I finally reached his secretary, who told me she didn't know if I needed character reference letters to write a letter to you, Your Honor, or to even review and sign my plea. She said she wasn't sure, but I might. She'd see him Sunday afternoon, less than 24 hours before the sentencing hearing. I had no idea what a PSI was until I received it, and got more input on my PSI from the investigator than from my attorney. I did in fact get to meet with Mr. Greer yesterday at 11:05 a.m. when I was given my pre-sentence investigation report for the first time with no opportunity to review, revise, or dispute any of it. Before now, and as far as my plea agreement goes, Your Honor, I still have yet to see, review, or even fully consider what that plea is. It should be noted that the pre-sentence investigation report was dated 11 days prior at 8:32 a.m. on March 11th. It was stamped for the Newington County Circuit Court the next day, March 12th at 1:40 p.m. Again, I saw it for the first time approximately 26 hours ago, and I still haven't seen my plea agreement. Your Honor, the evidence in my PSR, Your Honor, between the evidence in my PSR, there are already many details for you to consider in my sentencing. I would humbly ask you to take these facts into account as well. Eddie Eugene Jennings is a dad who always kept pictures of his children in his wallet. The dad who taught his kids how to fish. The dad who created a custom YouTube channel of bedtime stories he wrote and recorded just for them so they could sleep better. The dad who cooked all their meals for them to make sure they ate healthy. The dad who would play with them, whose best part of his day was making them laugh. The dad who raised his oldest stepson on his own from a very young age.
Now this is a critical legal turning point. The prosecutor is essentially calling his bluff, offering to void the plea deal entirely. That's huge. Why? Because withdrawing a plea resets everything. New trial, harsher sentencing risk, and no guarantees. The judge even hints, be careful what you ask for. So the tension here isn't just emotional, it's strategic. Does he gamble on a trial or accept 25 years?
I worry about you all and pray for you every day. I love you with my whole soul. I'm truly sorry for how this hurt you all. Your Honor, Mr. Greer has been right about one thing out of all this, and that is the fact that I am not the kind of father to put his family through a trial. In fact, I love my family so much that the idea of putting them through the stress, trauma, and embarrassment of a very public trial was unimaginable. I lost everything in the last 5 months except my mom and sister. I lost my family, my wife, and soulmate, my best friends, my job, my house, my dogs, my dream, and my freedom. But all that is incomparable to what my family lost. While New England County Jail's mental health program are limited, I have found great comfort and purpose attending weekly church services with the chaplains as our Pods Bible-based Christ-focused fellowship group. Your Honor, whatever you decide for today, I beg of you not only for mercy and sentencings, but that where I am sent is someplace where I will be safe and have access not only to the kind of spiritual growth I've begun, but also quality mental health care and treatment that will contribute to the rehabilitation I know I am capable of. Your Honor, throughout this process, I felt helpless and hopeless. Thankfully, with the help of Jesus, I have gone for forgiveness and redemption for my soul. I just want a record to show that at no point in the unfortunate life-altering situation do I feel like I've had an advocate in my corner, while the rest of my life was on the line. I don't feel like this has been taken very seriously, but to me, Your Honor, the rest of my life means everything. Today, I'm asking you for mercy, that I have the opportunity for redemption for my life and my family, that I may one day earn the chance to be free again and be able to prove my worth to my community again. Even as I wrote this, my hands were shaking. I'm absolutely petrified of what prison will do to me. With institutionalization, of retribution for the statement, over never seeing my family again, and terrified of dying in prison. I am deeply remorseful over the situation and ashamed of these charges, and again, I pray for mercy. Thank you for hearing me out today. Regardless of what happens today, God bless you, Your Honor. God bless the prosecuting attorney and everyone involved in the investigation, everyone involved in empowering my daughter, and God bless Mr. Greer as well.
Thank you, sir.
Your Honor, may I respond? He might need to have a different lawyer. This is all new to me, totally new to me. And I think the court is aware of, mandatory 25 years. We went through his confessions. I guess I'd leave that up to the court.
All right, Ms. Robinson, any additions, corrections, or challenges?
No additions, corrections, or challenges, Your Honor.
Anything that you want the court to consider?
Your Honor, I don't understand what the defendant is talking about when he says he hasn't seen the plea agreement. He was in court twice. I was here personally on January 26th and February 9th. I put on the record the same plea agreement both those times, that he would plead to counts 1 and 3, we would dismiss the balance, and we would not seek a consecutive sentence.
I can clarify.
It is my turn.
Oh, sorry, man.
He indicates to the court, what a great dad he is. He's also the kind of dad that draws a picture of how far into his daughter, his penis went. So, Your Honor, I would ask the court to follow the plea agreement in sentencing. However, based on the things that were said today, I have very extreme concerns about claims of appeal. He's clearly setting himself up for that. It has already been, this case has been going for a while. I know as well as the court does how long that appeals process takes right now. And the thought of this coming back to a trial in 3 years when the appellate attorneys get around to it, Your Honor, that's not fair to the victim. So the defendant is unhappy with this. I would ask that the court allow him to withdraw his plea. We will remove the offer, and he can have a different attorney if the court thinks that's appropriate.
All right, so Mr. Jennings, so the prosecutor is indicating that although there is no, and I do the same thing in every case, I do what the law requires. I read you those charges, read you the maximum penalties. I asked you if you understood the charge, asked you if you understood the penalties. I asked you if you had the opportunity to discuss your case with Mr. Greer.
Now this is a critical legal turning point. The prosecutor is essentially calling his bluff, offering to void the plea deal entirely. That's huge. Why? Because withdrawing a plea resets everything. New trial, harsher sentencing risk, and no guarantees. The judge even hints, be careful what you ask for. So the tension here isn't just emotional, it's strategic. Does he gamble on a trial or accept 25 years?
Yep, I confirmed with you that you knew what the plea agreement was. So that was at the time we took your plea. That same plea agreement was put on the record on January 26th. So I am convinced that you knew what the plea agreement was and made your choice about it. But I guess this might be a situation where you might be careful what you ask for. The prosecutor says that she would not oppose if you want to withdraw your plea. But what that means is you're starting back at square one with the potential for more charges and consecutive sentencing if you're convicted at a trial. So
what I mean to say, sir, and I do apologize, is I don't know, like, because because I'm just learning, this is all new to me. This is all like, not the plea, the statement is, but I'm saying being in court and being in jail and things like that, and learning the judicial process is all new to me. So because I have federal people in my cell, they have a plea that they sign and they go over and they read all that stuff. I don't know if that's the same as in state court. So if it's not the same and it's not something I look at and I sign and that's good, then I hear the plea, I hear what it was, and I do understand.
Yeah, we put it on the record. Some courts, some counties, sometimes the federal, they put it in writing. I say I do it better. I put it on the record.
Okay.
It's an official transcript.
Okay.
And I go over it with you and ask you if you understand it and ask you if you had a sufficient time to talk with your attorney about it.
Okay.
But
Your Honor, if I may.
Even if that's the case, if you want to start out from square one, you
I
can
don't
do
want to
it.
start over square one. All right.
All right. So then the other thing is, anyways, you wanted to say something?
Well, Your Honor, I've been doing this for a while. As is my experience, I don't mail those police reports and these PSIs to my client. He took it yesterday. I was there to go over it with him. There's a reason I don't do that, because inmates steal these things and then they're out there for everybody to read. It's not safe. And I told him that. I spent time. He went, I arranged to have him there to read the PSI. Not the PSI, the police reports, because they're quite graphic. We went through the law of he took a polygraph, he confessed at the polygraph, and he signed the Miranda rights. Everyone, okay. I don't understand what he's saying other than he wants to throw somebody under the bus and not take its responsibility. I wouldn't do anything different for anyone else. He's not getting that police report. I'll be happy to mail it to him in prison if that's what he wants. I'm doing it for his benefit. I'm sorry, Your Honor. He completely caught me off guard with this. Never once did he let me know that he wasn't satisfied. Not once. Not once.
So what do you want to do, Mr. Jennings? Do you want to continue on with sentencing today, or do you want to start over?
I want to continue on with sentencing today.
I can tell you, don't let those guys in the cell, they'll fill your head full of crap. And never listen to a jailhouse lawyer because they're already in jail.
That's a fair point.
Your Honor, may I just put on the record that the victim's mother is here and she has indicated to me that she does not wish to speak. So she did have the opportunity to do so, but no statement will be made at this time.
All right, we're dealing with 2 counts of criminal sexual conduct in the first degree. The court recognizes it. The advisory guidelines would suggest a sentence between 135 months and 225 months for both counts. The court's going to exercise my discretion, sentence consistent with the plea agreement and consistent with the mandatory minimum here. So it would be the sentence of the court that this defendant served 25 years on the minimum to a maximum of 60 years with the Michigan Department of Corrections. He'd get credit for 144 days that he's already served. Count two, same sentence, 25 years of mandatory minimum to a maximum of 60 years, credit for 144 days. Count one and count two would run concurrent